501c3 is a status that the IRS gives you so that your taxation is treated differently. Hi, this is Reverend Lance with Street Bishops, and wanted to make this video today about 501c3. I get a lot of questions about this, right? So you come to us and you get your credentials and you want to start your church. And there seems to be this sort of misconception that a 501c3 status from the IRS, because that's all it is. When people donate to you, they can get some tax advantage from that. But it's not something that you need to do right away. It just isn't. You can if you want, and I can assist you through that process. But when you gather some folks together, the United States is an interesting place because we have a lot of rules that just sort of apply by themselves without anybody sort of saying so. When you are a small group of people with a small church in a ministry, or if it's just yourself in a ministry, when you first begin doing your ministry work and there's a small amount of money exchanging hands, 25 here, 50 there, 100 there, and you really haven't gotten over that, I kind of use $5,000 as a threshold. When you really haven't popped over that $5,000 in giving threshold, then you don't need to worry about the filing all this legal paperwork, because remember this, there is federal taxation and there is state taxation, and they have their own statutes and they're completely independent from each other. Okay, in all the states in the United States, whenever you begin operating a church or a ministry, you can go to their state website and get a tax ID number to identify you as that group doing that. You don't have to have corporate paperwork. You just have to have an agreement amongst some folks, or even yourself, that you're going to operate as a charity and doing religious functions. And you can apply to your state to get a tax ID number, right? That way, if you want, you can tell them what money you're getting and how you're using it. That way, if there's for-profit activity, you can pay tax on that. If it's all not-for-profit activity, then you won't pay tax on that. So that's the state, okay? So where does the 501c3 come in? Well, from a federal level, federal taxes, when you want to get that designation about your organization for taxation purposes, then you have to file a state corporate charter and become a corporation. Then you get a tax ID number, which takes 60 seconds online. Don't pay anybody to do it. And then you take that corporate paperwork, which has special language in it. It's not just any corporate. You have to know what you're doing when you file that, because that corporate filing has to have special language in it that the IRS requires as a part of their instructions for getting 501c3 status. So the corporation has to be filed with your state, and it has to have certain language in it. Then you get your EIN number, and then you go to the IRS website and you request 501c3 status, where you answer some questions. You may be asked to upload some supporting documents, and then they will grant you the 501c3 status. Of course, the key to getting your 501c3 status is keep your budgets little, like 5,000 and below. Keep things simple for them. Don't make this complicated thing. But do you need all that 501c3 to run your ministry and do what you need to do? Absolutely not. The only time you need 501c3 status is if you want to do something specific with a state that says you need to have it, or if you want to write a grant and it specifically says they only give money to 501c3s, or there might be some other things that you run across where someone says, you must be a 501c3 designated organization from the IRS, or we can't do business with you. But there's only a small amount of activity that's like that. Most everything you do in ministry has nothing to do with the federal government and federal taxation. Now, once you get above a certain level in money that you're exchanging, you want to do that because you want to have accountability, okay? And people want to see your accountability. But most of you all that are watching this video don't have big budgets. You're out there doing more work, not collecting more money. You're out doing the work that Christ asks us to do, not real busy raising money. And you don't need the 501c3 to raise the money, because people can give you up to $250 and you can give them a receipt, and you don't have to be a 501c3 for them to get the credit for their gift. It's only when they give the larger gifts that they need it to be a 501c3 to get the credit. So if someone's looking to have a tax receipt to use for a tax write-off for a not-for-profit, they can give a good bit of money without you having to be a 501c3. You know, it's over a period of a year that you're talking about it. So if they give you more than $250 a year, and those rules change over time. But what I'm saying is that unless you have a lot of money flowing, you don't need the 501c3. And you don't need the 501c3 to raise the money. So you can get the money first, raise $1,000, then talk to me about us getting you the 501c3. You see what I'm saying? Because it costs like $300 or $350. It costs money to get that. You got to pay the federal government money to get that designation. So it's going to cost you $100 for your corporation, or $100, $125, or between $70 and $125, depending on what state you're in. If you file it yourself, and you should, and I'll show you how. And you have to file it a certain way. Then you have to get your tax EIN number, which takes a few minutes online. Don't pay anybody to do that silliness. And then you've got to file that paperwork with the IRS with like $350 to get designated. So there's a time and a place for all of this, but your focus should be on your ministry first. Then as you're raising money, raise the money first. Then worry about getting the 501c3, and don't pay anybody a lot of money to get it, okay? So that's the whole thing on a 501c3. It's a federal designation. You can get a tax ID from the state as a not-for-profit just by going to the website and filling out paperwork and getting it. Then you can take that tax ID number from the state and go to the bank and get a checking account. You don't have to have a federal EIN number to get an account from the bank. You have to have a state number, but you don't have to have a federal number. So that's my general advice. I am not an attorney, but I've been working in this for a long time, so I've got a lot of advice to give. If you're still unclear, call me up, 386-999-1963, 386-999-1963. Call me and let's discuss it, or write to me at secretary@streetbishops.com. So I hope this has been helpful to kind of cool some people's jets about getting that 501c3. I love you guys, and I'll be doing some more videos. I've kind of gotten lax. I haven't done one recently, but I'll do another one soon. So God bless you all. God bless you in the work that you're doing out on the streets with those who need you so much. Have a great day.